Is it just me, or are affordable watches red hot lately? Because over the past month or so, there have been some incredible new budget watch releases, some of which are seriously rivaling watches costing substantially more. Right now is the best time to be a watch collector, because watches like these are delivering exceptional value for money. Hello there, my name is Kieran, welcome to Top Tier Ticker, I hope you're having a good day. Today we'll be taking a look at the top 10 hottest affordable watches right now. Most of these are brand new releases, fresh off the press. And the last one today, well, that's the freshest of them all. If you enjoyed this video at any point, please consider dropping a like rating, and you might as well subscribe while you're down there for more top 10s like this. I'll leave links for every watch that I mention in the description below. Let's do this. If you want a GMT watch that's bursting with character, Seiko might have just made your next watch. They recently released 3 absolutely fire GMTs that were so red hot they almost burnt my hands. These 3 new models are basically new colour variants of the mega popular SSK range. And if you're a big fan of Rolex GMTs, you'll also likely enjoy these new Seikos because of the colorways chosen. We have a brand new green variant that I'm sure people will nickname the Hulk, a two-tone variant that's awfully similar to the root beer, and my favourite, this white and electric blue model that I nicknamed the Blue Polar. The dial on this piece is like a freshly frozen sheet of ice, with one of the most vibrant blue GMT hands I've ever seen. The two-tone is my next favourite, with a golden bezel and gold accents throughout the dial. There is a hint of brown here within the dial and the bezel, so you do get that root beer feel with this one. Now the green one is actually my least favourite of the 3. It's a bit more subdued than the rest of the lineup, which does make the watch feel a bit more sophisticated if that's what you're after. You can expect the usual Seiko flaws, so mineral glass, pressed clasp, no screw down crown, but you get that iconic Seiko shape and brand name on the dial. And as usual with Seiko, a great watch for the price. I've pretty much only had one dress watch in my collection this year, the Beaucroft Seeker Teal. It's been my go-to dress watch for pretty much every formal and fun occasion. Every restaurant visit, weekend trip away, holiday, this watch has been with me. Therefore, this is a watch that I recommend to just about anybody. But wait, Beaucroft just released a brand new colour variant of the Seeker that is red hot, or should I say ice cold. This is the new Beaucroft Seeker Ice Blue, and I think we're finally at the point where we can start to appreciate this colour again. The blue used here is unbelievably dynamic, just like my Seeker Teal. I really don't know how Beaucroft does it. The dial begins at an almost silver in the centre surrounding the pinion, which then slowly freezes outwards towards the perimeter. We then see a raised chapter ring which has a contrasting sunburst finish, and most who see this watch rightfully point out one of the most beautiful handsets you'll find on an affordable watch. The leaf style hands here sit so elegantly against the dial, then one of the most aesthetically pleasing dial designs you'll ever see with almost flawless symmetry. I find it hard not to stare at my Seeker when I have it on wrist, appreciating the facets and the details. Yes, it's fitted with a great automatic movement and the dome sapphire glass, but it's the design that's the focal point here. Proper, understated and elegant British design. It's not often you get a proper dress chronograph these days, with most watch brands going for that Daytona look. However, Orient just released one of the best looking chronographs you'll see this year. They have ditched sporty elements like the tachometer scale and replaced them with extra facets and polished surfaces for that extra bit of elegance. The new Orient Stretto is a mixture between something like the Orient Bambino and a Seiko Speedtimer. The dial designs here are super dressy with classy colours and minimal text, but the K-shape and style is more casual with chunky lugs and sporty looking chronograph pushers. The Panda version I think is the most casual from the new release, with the navy blue probably being the most dressy. The bracelet and clasp on this one is a bit jingly jangly, but I think that this is a chronograph that's begging to be put on a leather strap anyway, and the surprising inclusion of a sapphire glass at this price point is more than welcome here. You also get that true watchmaking pedigree with this watch, with Orient manufacturing the solar movements themselves in-house, and if you compare what this watch offers with something like a Seiko Speedtimer, for a third of its price, this Orient looks like an absolute steal. This next watch simply oozes style, Italian style to be exact. An affordable watch that offers H. Moser vibes on a $500 budget. Venezianico might just be the hottest micro brand in the world right now, with the recent release of the exceptional Arsenale, and now this, the Redentore Enigma. This is what's known as a regulator watch. This is where the hands of the watch are separated and have their own timing scale. The idea here is that time will always be clear to read as the hands can never obstruct each other. But complication aside, this dial is just stunning. I don't think I've ever seen both the sunburst and fume finish mixed so well together. The 2 timing scales here are sat on highly domed rings that add a ton of depth to the dial. Even the branding, I think, has been well positioned. I don't know who's designing these watches, but bravo Venezianico. You might expect some unknown movement to be used here, but no, it's actually a Seiko automatic. It's just a movement that a lot of micro brands are scared to use, but not Venezianico. Also, can we just appreciate how well the strap matches the dial of the watch? I mean, that really shouldn't be a surprise because Italians are the best with leather after all. This next watch was one of the first names down when I started putting this video together. It's so red hot that it's getting me hot and sweaty just thinking about it. This watch really does emphasize just how creative micro brands are getting with their releases. Where the big established brands seemingly release boring watch after boring watch, small micro brands like Signum are tearing up the rulebook and going batshit crazy. This is the Signum Cuda Miami. Yes, neon sunsets, swaying palm trees and classic cars was the inspiration behind this watch, with a colour combination that will undoubtedly brighten any room it enters. The dial features an ocean-like blue at the bottom with a sunset style pink on the upper. So if you're a fan of the classic Hawaiian shirt, this watch is the perfect companion. But the fun doesn't stop when the lights go out. The lume shot on this watch is just as playful, with 3 different colours used and a healthy dose of lume in the crown for good measure. Sure, this watch is definitely too much for everyday wear, but to have this piece sat in the corner of the watch box for when you're feeling a bit fruity, that sounds like a good time to me. I know that some of you are a bit skeptical when it comes to AliExpress watches. Don't worry, I was the same. And it's an area that I still explore with extreme caution. It can be the absolute Wild West sometimes. But occasionally, it is worth letting your guard down slightly because you can find some absolute gems. Take this new release by Pierre Paulin. I know, great name as usual with Chinese brands. It's one of the best value dress watches that I've ever handled. Sure, it does lack a bit of refinement, but for the $135 price tag, I think it's a compromise worth making. Inside this watch is a mechanical jump hour movement. Indeed, the time on the dial is broken into 3 sections: a running small seconds register, a central minute hand, and an hour window that jumps to the next number every 60 minutes. This mechanical complication is something you won't find from the Swiss at this price point, and you won't find it from the Japanese either. Only by going Chinese will you find something this cool at this cost. The dial here is packed with details, with brigade style numerals and hands completing the look, but this new version features a domed sapphire crystal, offering a huge upgrade over the original model's mineral. And for once, you actually get a really good supplied strap with an AliExpress watch. If you want to look classy on a budget, this is the one. One of the most underrated chronographs, at least in the affordable watch world, is the Yema Rallygraf, a watch that I personally owned for over a year and absolutely loved. And Yema just released a brand new version of the Rallygraf that might just be the new top dog. That's right, we have 3 new versions of the Rallygraf, with brand new dial and case designs. However, they still feature that Yema DNA that makes these watches so effortlessly cool. If you didn't know, Yema is a heritage watchmaker, founded in 1948. In the late 1960s, they had a watch called the Rally, famously worn by motor racing icon Mario Andretti during some of his famous wins. The Rallygraf is a modern interpretation of the original Rally. You'll notice the same asymmetrical subdials, for example. The new Rallygraf II feels much more angular than the first, with more sharp edges used amongst the dial. The chronograph pushers are no longer circular, with wide steel blocks used instead, but it's the dial detail that's the biggest change here, with the new Rallygraf II featuring a horizontally brushed textured finish that adds a lot of character. Only 3 colorways with this model on launch, a classic panda and a reverse panda, but check out the 3rd gold and black version if you want something that's a bit more flamboyant. If you think that Chinese watchmaking sucks, I think you'll change your mind after seeing this next watch. One of the best when it comes to affordable Chinese watch brands, Phoibos. These guys don't operate like the others. They consistently pump out high quality watches, but with original designs. The brand new Leviathan model being a perfect example of the insane quality that they offer. For just $265, what this watch provides beats anything you'll find from Seiko, Orient Stretto, or any other entry-level brand for that matter. Everything is completely solid steel. Yes, the end links and the clasp included. Thanks for nothing, Orient. But just because this watch is a spec monster doesn't mean that it neglects the design like can often happen with Chinese watches. The Leviathan model is one of Phoibos' oldest, improving with each release. This new Leviathan, for example, features a quick adjust clasp for the first time on the model, but the harsh, angular, masculine design to the case and bracelet remains. This particular model features a scorching red-hot dial that gives Orient Komatsu vibes, but of course with a much better build quality. Great lume as usual with Phoibos, and one of the best looking handsets I've ever seen on a diver full stop, featuring a frosted finish that just looks super sharp. Sizing here is also going to work for just about anybody, coming in at that 40mm sweet spot. Another fine example of a micro brand creating a watch that you simply wouldn't see from the giants, this brand new stunning hybrid watch by Praesidus. It features a bold and over-the-top case design that you'll struggle to find elsewhere. This American micro brand specializes in creating military-inspired watches, so much so that they can't even create a dive watch that conforms to the genre. This 200-meter capable watch features strong field watch genetics, with the oversized Arabic numerals and syringe hands synonymous with military watches. No external dive time bezel here, it's just all dial, with a beautiful crystal that offers tons of distortion around the edges. But it's this crazy crown that's the best part. Unscrew the crown cap to reveal the actual crown beneath. Over-engineered, overprotected, absolutely. But that's what makes watches so fun. Let's also not forget to mention this beautiful dial finish, a deep blue with a tree bark texture. And where modern dive watches are usually 40mm plus, this one comes in at an unusual 38mm, making it a great option for smaller wrists. Sure, not an out-and-out dive watch, definitely one for those who prefer military watches, but something completely different that will stand out amongst the collection. I'm sure I wasn't the only one that was slightly baffled when Seiko released the Speedtimer to celebrate their original 1969 chronograph models, a watch that looks more like a Daytona than the original 6139 chronographs. However, Seiko has just dropped a brand new version of the Speedtimer that finally pays respect to the true history of the model. Now, some of you may think that this color combination is absolutely crazy, and to be honest, it is, but it's this wacky gold, blue, and red combo that's iconic amongst enthusiasts. Indeed, the original Seiko Speedtimer 6139 Pogue featured this palette, a watch named after Colonel William Pogue, who took the original up into space on a NASA mission in 1973. So this new model finally acknowledges the true roots of the Speedtimer, not just as a Daytona lookalike, but a chronograph that has one of the most prestigious histories of all time. A chronograph that was the first to feature a fully integrated automatic winding system, at least to the Japanese market. Sure, all they've done here is change the dial colour to a bit of gold, but the deeper meaning of this colour combination makes this watch red hot. If you enjoyed this video, show some support, drop me a like rating, and if you want to see more top 10s like this, then hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Bye for now.